Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about Node.js. I have listed out few points here. We'll go through them one by one. So the first point is Node.js is an open source cross-platform runtime environment. It is open source. They have a GitHub account. You can check out their code. It is available to everyone. It is cross-platform, which means you can execute it on any platform, be it your Windows or Ubuntu or your Mac operating systems. So before the incoming of Node.js, before there was Node.js, your JavaScript was executed inside the web browsers only. It was limited to web browsers, wherein you used to perform animations or uh, make dynamic websites. Now after the Node.js, we could run now JavaScript code as a standalone application on your device, like you do in any other programming languages. If you have used Java or Python or any other language, you can run that as a standalone application. Now with the incoming of Node.js, we can do that with JavaScript as well. So it is powered by Chrome's V8 engine, which runs your Chrome web browser. The same engine is used for Node.js. Node.js performs blocking, non-blocking, input-output operations, asynchronous operations using something called as event loops. So event loop is something in which your JavaScript code executes, your Node code executes. We will get to this in detail after some time. So your Node.js is written in C, C++, and JavaScript. So if you see, I have a diagram here. This is pretty much sums up what a JavaScript runtime environment is and can be. This is not an official diagram. This is made by me. So what this says is, as I told you, your Node.js code is executed inside something called as an event loop. So this is an event loop. When you run your Node.js code will be executed inside this event loop. So your event loop is single threaded, but the whole of Node.js is not single threaded. Most people get confused and say that Node.js is single threaded. No, Node.js is not single threaded. Node.js event loop is single threaded, that executes on a single thread, and it has another library that helps it with some operating system tasks or some asynchronous tasks. That library is called libuv. It is written in C programming language, libuv library. And if you see, I have some blocks here which has written T1, T2, T3, and T4. This is the thread pool that libuv library uses. So libuv helps with some of the operating system tasks. For example, you have to deal with operating systems or a file system. You want to read a file and execute it or write some content into the file. So that heavy lifting is done by libuv, and your Node.js code is run in the event loop. So it has other things as well, the heap, that is your memory spaces, and it has a call stack and a first in first out callback queue. So we will see this in an example how this can be executed. Let's see an example. I have an example ready with me. So I have a very simple example here, which says a set timeout function which takes 0 milliseconds, which means this can be executed immediately. And I have a function, the name of my function, and just logs a statement. I'll execute this function. Now if I run this function, what you will see is my function was executed first and set timeout was executed after my function. Why would such thing happen? If I have said that this takes a time of 0 milliseconds, so this could have been executed first. So let's see what actually happened here. So when I executed my code, my function, let me close this. My function comes here and it is pushed to the call stack and it is executed. So okay, let's go line by line. So where were we? Okay, so first comes set timeout. Set timeout, it has argument which is a callback function. So anytime you see a callback function, Node sees a callback function, it pushes it into a callback queue. So when your interpreter sees a set timeout, it sees a callback function and it pushes it onto the callback queue. If you see here, we have a callback queue here, which says set timeout callback. That is, it will be executed after some time, because we have mentioned that we have a callback which takes around 0 milliseconds. So it will be pushed to the callback queue. So, and in the second step, my function, that is a normal function, that will be pushed to the call stack. My function is pushed to the call stack, and when I execute my function, it will execute this function. My function will be executed and it will be popped out of the call stack. As soon as your call stack becomes empty, it goes and checks in the first in first out callback queue. There is a set timeout callback, which is indeed a function. It takes that function and pushes to the call stack and executes it again. After it finishes execution, it prints set timeout is executed. Now this is how your Node.js code is executed. There are different phases in event loop. We won't go into detail into event loop right now in this video, but there are phases in event loop. There are 5 to 6 phases that executes when an event loop executes. So if you see in this, when I ran this code, first my function was executed and then set timeout was executed, as I explained. So in the next video we'll set up our local environment for Node.js. Until then, if you like this video, please share it with your friends and let me know in the comment section what other Node videos or JavaScript videos would you like me to cover.